What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Coming Out Chronicles Atlanta edition. Y'all, let me put some lotion on my hands because, baby, there's a little ashy. Okay, there we go. And then you put your lotion, do a little tap, a couple spots, just to make sure, make you feel better because it's just like you just put it in one spot. But anyway, welcome back to another episode. Okay, let's see, where did we leave off at? But before we leave off, start where I left off at. Y'all, I just had a birthday. My birthday was July 7th. I don't know when y'all watching this, but it's a couple days after my birthday. Had a really amazing birthday. I didn't do really shit on my birthday. Well, I guess I did do something. I hung out by myself. I went and bought me a plant for my birthday. I say every year for my birthday, I'm just going to continue to buy a new plant to add to my collection. I got me some food. I think I got a pizza. No, I ordered hibachi. So I had some hibachi, and I just laid in bed, watched TV, took a nap, and then got a crick in my neck. And then I woke up. I was like, damn, see, this happens when you're getting old. And then a couple days later, I ended up getting a group of my friends together. We ended up going to the beach on Friday, and we had an amazing time. And I normally don't plan things because I just feel like I don't know if you guys are into horoscopes or whatever. I'm not all the way deep diving into the horoscopes, but I'm a Cancer, and I just know how I feel. Like, I don't like being around people all the time. I really don't. I'm sorry. Like, people may invite me, they want me to show up, because if I can't be my 100% authentic self, I'm not showing up. Because I don't need anybody asking me what's wrong. Because if you ask me what's wrong, I'm gonna tell you, and you probably don't want to hear it. So, and it's really just because I just don't feel like being bothered with y'all, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Um, but anyway, again, my birthday is a day for me to reflect on myself and just chill by myself. I'm not one of the people. I need a lot of people around me to congratulate me, tell me happy birthday, and to boost me up. Who paying the bill? Who doing this? Who doing that? Like, I don't want to worry about all that. I just want to just chill by myself and get ready to enter a new chapter of my life. You know, still continuously figuring things out about myself and about the world, and that's just how I want to keep it. Ooh, I almost told y'all one of my dreams. Mm, should I tell y'all this dream I had? Are dreams meant to be shared? Well, if it's meant to happen and it's meant to be, there's nothing on this earth that can stop it, right? Okay. So I had this dream that I was flying. I was flying out of my apartment, and I was flying on a baby booster seat. And this baby booster seat had these little wings, little baby wings flapping on the side, little baby wings. And I was just holding on to the booster seat, and I'm just like, where is it taking me? And I'm just flying through the sky, and I'm just like, wow, it's just so amazing. It's nighttime. And I'm in California. You guys know about California, Los Angeles. I stay in Koreatown, so I was going to downtown LA, DTLA. That's what they call downtown LA. Whatever. So I was going down Olympic, and I'm just looking at the buildings, and just like, it's very peaceful. It's not a lot of like commotion going on. Then I get downtown, and it just gets real bright, and I just look over to the side, and I see this giant this building, this spire, and on the top of it, it was these really bright lights. I went up, hold on to the booster seat like this. I'm going up, and when I get up there, um, I'll tell y'all this. Um, there were these entities just like sitting up there. I can't explain to you really like how they looked. I want to say they had a face, but then they didn't. And it was just very simple what they told me. I'm gagging about this. Gagging. I feel like I'm gonna get emotional. And this is not supposed to be an emotional episode, y'all, by the way. And they told me that I'm gonna be a watcher. I'm gonna be here forever. 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 And why am I getting emotional? My interpretation, and I'm gonna go through a lot of things in life. I'm gonna experience a lot of things. And those things are gonna make me wiser. I just talked to my friend the other day, and my best friend, he's in town, his name is Fred. That's my best friend. And I was a little tipsy. I'm not gonna lie, it was my birthday, child. Come on now. And I turned over to him and I told him that I just had like this epiphany while we were watching a drag show. And that was that I want to ascend. Hmm. And that's just kind of very scary for me because that means like there's things that I need to go through to get there. There's things that I need to be open. I need to talk about. I need to express. That means I have to be 100% open, 100% vulnerable. I have to just, because how can you ascend really? How can you ascend if you're not gonna be honest? How can you expect to go up to increase if you're not gonna be honest? If you're not gonna be nice? If you're not gonna lead with love? If you're not going to, you get what I'm saying? How? Okay, so let me wrap that up. Again, okay, wow. My birthday trip it was amazing. My friends, I really appreciated it. It allowed me to just absorb the love because sometimes I keep my guard up and I don't absorb love from people. And that's something that I'm learning to do, especially with me doing these chronicles and people reaching out to me and talking. And I just had to say, you know what? This is their moment to talk. So you have to be quiet and let them talk and let them get whatever it is on their chest off and just do it. But a part of me is like, I don't want to do that. But I feel like in that aspect, I am being selfish. And I have to be able to because the way I see it, I told you guys I'm a Cancer, emotions, feelings, all those things can penetrate me. I can all that. And sometimes when people tell you stuff is not something you want to hear. I would have rather not heard it because now it got me thinking, oh, I went through X, Y, and Z because that was going on, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna receive it all. So with that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and get into episode number 3. Um, but you guys, hold on a second. Look at this. Dang, I'm shaking the table. Look at this. What are these? These are my journals. I found these in my box. Oh my goodness. I'm scared to to find out what I've written in these journals. The earliest goes back to 2003. And pretty much all these journals are for when I lived in Atlanta. Now, how honest I was being with myself in these journals, we will find out because I plan on reading a little excerpt from some of the journal. I can't read them all, y'all. Y'all want me to do a whole episode on journals? Because, baby, no, we're not doing that. But I'm going to take a little out of each one and do a little something. I'm gonna try to do it to like the time period that I'm telling these stories in, because I'm trying to actually do these stories in chronological order. Like I'm not trying to just go around beat around the bush with certain things, but certain things I do want to keep in one episode. So that's how we go do it. Okay, so this first one, this is in January, February, March, April. This is in May, on May 7th, 2003 at 11:35 p.m. And it says, today was an interesting day for me. It is like my third week at Toys R Us, and I like my job. But I still have all these issues compiling up. My I guess I could. I want to. I'm like, do I say names? Should I say names or should I leave names out? Some of these people watching. So we'll just break it down like this. So one of my cousins basically thinks that I don't like her because I have been ignoring her some. I guess I have been. I'm going through so much stuff right now, from trying to sign up for school, getting papers from my hometown Toledo, and to here till I can make the deadline to enroll in school. The issue with my sexuality, that I have, do I really want to be gay? Well, I kind of do. I don't know which one. I really can't see myself with a woman. I like men, but am I really, am I this what? Okay, so that's spell checking, honey. Come on. Should we read these before I did? I like women, but I'm not ready for anything. I mean, I don't like women. You guys, that was a fuck up. Woo! Got me sweating in here. Oh, when we go back to it, where was I at? Oh my goodness, it's chicken scratch. I used to have the best handwriting in school. What happened? Oh, where are we at? I really can't see myself as a woman. I like men, but I am not ready for anything. I don't want to make another mistake like I did with the guy that was in Toledo. But it really wasn't a mistake. It was I left. And it was that he didn't want to do long distance relationship, and he was a little older than me. He was a little bit more seasoned. I was a virgin. He was out there dibbling dabbling and doing his thing, and I honestly, I don't think it really would have worked, because that was before I actually got a piece of dick. Oop, did I say that? I did. You guys, this episode is going to be crazy. So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about some things about me that I experienced. So, as a gay man. So, yeah, let's get into it. Back to the note, to the journal entry, whatever. Then one of my friends from my hometown is out telling my business. I really don't understand it. Why is she doing this? Just because she talks to someone and they ask about me doesn't mean she has to go and tell them that I'm gay and everything else. Is she really a true friend? I'm getting it to the point of thinking that she is not. I try to call her, but she would not answer as usual. Why do I always have all these issues? I went to church today for Bible school. It was interesting. My talk that I had with my aunt a few minutes ago helped me feel a little better. I have accomplished a few things since I have been here. I got a job and I'm still managing to stay together, dealing with all the issues that I have. Plus, I'm trying to go back to school. Okay, so finally I finished that. So since this is the journal entry that we have, this journal entry is probably like kind of in line with what I'm going to be talking about um around the same time period. Uh I had been in Ohio, and I had been in Atlanta for a little bit of time at this point, and basically, if I can remember from this note and what was said after that, because basically me and my auntie just kind of talked about accomplishments, and I probably was feeling like I wasn't accomplishing anything since I had been here, been in Atlanta, and that she was just trying to give me some positive encouragement. She was trying to be my cheerleader to let me know, hey, you have done such and such the job. You're trying to get in school. You know what I'm saying? You still keeping yourself together out of all the things that you're going through, and basically I'm proud of you. And that's one thing that I will say and will always say about my auntie. My auntie has always been one of my biggest cheerleaders, even when I couldn't cheer for myself. My auntie is my superhero. Like she has come to save me, whether it's financially or just whatever. Like my auntie has always been there for me. She has never asked any questions. She has just always done it, and I truly and I genuinely appreciate her for that. So I again, we left off last episode where I basically was working at the toy store, right? So I'm working at the toy store and it just really wasn't working, especially after me having that conversation with my auntie. She's like, why are you driving all the way down there? They was kind of bullying me at work. It was a very long drive, and it just like my check. When I first got my first check, I said, bitch, what is this? Baby, that thing wasn't even 200 something dollars. I'm like, what am I do with this? But I mean, back then we were around the same time frame. It really took about like maybe $12 to fill up your tank. But I had a cell phone bill. I still had to pay insurance on my car. I still needed my own little personal money. And that just wasn't getting it. So I started applying around for, other jobs, whatever. And I ended up getting a job at Toys R Us in the video game department. I was making around like $7 an hour. It was a cool job. I think I worked here for maybe like close to almost a year. And I ended up getting a job at AT&T while I was working at Toys R Us. But I'm gonna save the AT&T situation for the next episode. So I'm working at Toys R Us. Toys R Us was really cool. Again, I was in the video game department because I used to play a lot of video games. It was cool. I didn't deal with any type of harassment. I got along with several of my coworkers and several of my female coworkers. That's when I found out that I was like, damn, bitch, you can get she one of my coworkers, she had an apartment and she was on section 8. She paid $25 a month. I was like, $25 a month? Like, girl, what? That's crazy. And she used to change her, she used to get up oh nasty thing, child. She used to be at work and she would after work. After she worked, child, she would go and change into her club outfit, put her lipstick and stuff on, go to the club. Like, girl, you didn't even wash your cat, girl. But that was my girl though. She was cool. Then there was another girl. We was cool. Then there was this guy that worked there. He was straight, but it's crazy because I always had that one token straight friend that's around me, straight male friend that's around me. And I have a little crush on them. And I'm not gonna say they have a little crush on me, but it's just like maybe they just don't care that I'm gay because people still kind of knew. And I'm sorry, like as a dude, like we not dudes pretty much, they kind of act the same. It's the sports, it's the this, it's the girls, it's this and that. And it just like I wasn't getting into those things, and I was a little sassy in my mouth and stuff like that. But maybe he liked it. Whatever case to me and him was cool. Even though I wanted to sleep with him, I'm not going to lie, I really did. But the job at Toys R Us was pretty cool. All right, so even though like he was at work and me and him was kind of cool, whatever, like that really wasn't like my friend. Like I still wanted somebody to hang around with. I needed to be around people like me. Even though I'm getting better with my self esteem and my confidence, me being gay. On a scale of 1 to 10, bitch, we still pushing like a 3, honey. A 10 is being bitch. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I'm on a 3. But it's better than a 1. It ain't no 10, but it ain't no 1. So I can't remember my auntie had told me, or I was just looking up in the phone book because y'all that was around the time, or it was online. But I found out about this organization. It was called Youth Pride. It was like a LGBTQI plus like organization that you can go to for like the youth, whatever. So I ended up going there because I was like, I need to meet people. So I went there. It was cool. they ended up like every time I'm going to the sessions, whatever, because it was on certain days that you could go, whatever. At certain time they had like a time space when it was open, and it was really again it was for the youth. So it's just like we can't go to the clubs. We're still too young for that. But it was like a safe haven. It was kind of like a school. Come on, like the Xavier School for the Gifted. It was just like they had things for us to do there. We could talk. Like they had like therapists or just like we could do like a round table discussion, which I was always a part of, and I was always talking. Like I was like, why am I always someone to talk? They'll think because you always got stories to tell. Now, child, I can't remember what stories I had, but I guess I've always had stories to tell. But we ended up going out to eat to this restaurant, and that's how I met my best friend at the time. His name was Francis. I met him, and I remember we were sitting at the table, and I had the menu, but they didn't have enough menu, so he kind of like reached over and was like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna try that." I'm looking like, "Bitch, why is you all up in my face?" Because I'm just like, "What you doing?" But we end up becoming that was like my best friend, like that. That is like what I needed. But in the midst of him becoming my best friend, there was this girl that went there. It was this lesbian. She had red hair, and white girl. I started hanging out with her because Frances had lived way on the other side of town, but we were still kind of like developing our friendship. But she was more like local. She was kind of more close in the area, and she was always doing something. I started hanging out with her, and she was not a good person. She was always getting into trouble. I don't know if she was like on drugs because it seemed like she was on drugs the way she was reacting. She would pass out. She was always getting to a fighter, getting into something. She needed me to pick her up. She needed to use my phone. She was asking me to borrow money. It was just too much. And I don't know how my auntie had got a window, but she was like, "You need to like leave her alone because she don't seem like she the best person for you." But when you're young, you don't necessarily always listen to what an adult says because it's just like, yeah, the adult is warning you of the dangers or whatever the situation is, but at the same time, like you're still kind of like having fun. So it's just like, why would I stop hanging out with her and I'm having fun? But then I started to really start to see, like all things I'm saying that is going on. So I was like, I stopped hanging out with her. So around that time, that's when me and Francis friendship developed even more. Um, it's crazy how people just like, okay, well, and you hear me saying, okay, you gay, so you just gay, but it's not that easy. I'm still young. I'm still going through. I'm already in puberty, duh. But it's just like I'm still growing, I'm still maturing, like I'm still discovering life, like I'm still discovering like how my body work, like just like like just how to carry myself, how to talk, how to be in public. It's just all those things that now that I'm out on my own. Even my auntie is here, but I'm out traveling. Like again, I have my own car, so I'm out experiencing the world and I'm learning things. And just like as a teenager, as a young adult, again, you're trying to figure things out. I don't know how else to explain it. But it's like it's not like say I was learning to be gay, but it's just like okay, we'll do a straight person for example. It's just like as you get older, you hanging around certain crowds of people, you discovering like different clothes, like how you want to wear your hair, like the type of music that you listen to, kind of like influences the way you dress, the way you act, like, like I said, the haircut, like, just all the things that you do. But for me, it was I'm gay, but okay, what do gay people do? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Because, I start, thinking that, okay, well, I can kind of just buy whatever I want to. So I thought it was like the biggest like thing for me to be able to go into the women's department and buy something out of the women's department because I'm just like, oh, I'm gay now. Like, okay, this is what gay people do. Like, they go to women's department, they buy women's clothes. I don't know if y'all remember on my first episode, well, back on my original Coming Out Chronicles, I talked about when I was young and how I thought that all people, all gay, all LGBTQI plus people, whatever, under the umbrella, or I thought being gay was being a woman, being trans. So I started walking around, oh, child, tucking my meat, child, and my balls, honey, to the back, honey, like I got a meow. Bitch, that shit was painful. It didn't last for that long. Cause I'm like, how y'all be doing that, child? I can't do that. That's just too much. That's just too much. And I'm just like, if this what being a woman is, I don't want it. I was like, I don't want it. So it was just like a big thing for me to go into the women's department and find a shirt. And I remember I got this. I forgot what the company was. It was called Frank, whatever. And I remember it was like they used to have these cute little like monkeys on child. It was a cute, just like little baby monkey cartoon looking thing, whatever, on the shirt. And it was a brown shirt, and of course the monkey on there with the color with the white outline, whatever. And it was just like I was just like, well, this is a what's really different from a man's shirt and a female shirt? It's the t-shirt. It's just really the cut, the way the sleeves was and all that. So I kind of felt like that's what I had to do to be gay. It was just like, again, it was experimenting. It was me learning myself, like, how, okay, now that I'm gay, and now that pretty much being gay allows the world to be your canvas. You can paint it however you want to. When you straight, baby, it's only certain colors you can use. You can't do these type of strokes. You can't do this, you can't do that. But really, is that the truth? No, it's not. It's what society has made a lot of straight men believe, that they could only do certain things, where in all actuality, again, the world is your canvas. You can paint it, you can decorate it however you want to. And that's what I was experiencing. And it's just like, it's so funny because the shirt I have on, this is out the women's department. It's on nasty little crochet number from Fashion Nova Child. Bra straps. Let me see. Is the bra straps up in here? They is. They is. Forget it. Ooh. No, child, the way my titties is starting to sag, honey, I might have to put a little trainer bra on at some point in my life. You know, when you get older, child, gravity starts setting in and everything starts dropping. My chest used to sit up so high. Now look at it. This is up high. Bop. It just way down here, child. And it was used to be up here. But I can say that I do enjoy aging. So yeah, the girl, the clothes, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I wear this? Like, do I want to put on makeup, lip gloss, like all these things I'm thinking about. Then it just like, as you again, I'm growing up. I'm experiencing life. That's how you figure out who you are, is you have to experience certain things. If you live your whole life sheltered and you don't experience things, there's a possibility that when you get older or when you get a chance to experience things, you go buck wild. And I was sheltered from some things. So I went buck wild living in Atlanta. And we're going to get into all those things. We're going to get into them. I'm going to try to break y'all in real slow, because after we out of the little sad part. So we in this area. So me and friends is hanging out. I'm shopping. Now I'm going to the club. So I have gotten a fake ID. I went to this mall. It's called Greenbrier Mall. And I got this fake outrageously fake ID. It was laminated. It was green. I said I wanted to be from California. If I can find it, I'm gonna put it up 1, 2, 3 right here somewhere. And I know I found it. I know y'all see it. So this was like my fake ID, and I used that to get into the clubs for a while. And when I got into the clubs, I just, I didn't, because again, it's like, this is my first time experiencing clubs with just all these Black people. Like, I had never been around a club that was just full of Black men of all different ages. Now, try to think about that it's something about when you are a new bitch in town, they can smell it. They can always smell fresh meats. Like, they can smell it. So the amount of attention that I got from guys was crazy. And, I'm an attractive person. But at that time, I did not believe that I was attractive. Like, my auntie would always tell me, you handsome. This, like, she would always do that. And so her friends would come around. They would tell me I was handsome. But I just couldn't see it. And it's like, how could I see them and my confidence is fucked up, bitch? I can't. I'm not even comfortable being gay. And then now, I got people. I'm getting older now, and people are calling me attractive and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh well, I don't, then it's just like, if they hitting on me because they think I'm straight, and it was just a lot. And I didn't dance really in the club. I was just standing on the wall because I was so overwhelmed, but I was not in my skin. Like I was there. I was drinking under the age, all that stuff like that, but I was not there too. We go get into that. I was just not able to receive like the compliments and then also just be comfortable with myself. And that's how I ended up meeting my roommate that ended up moving out on me. But that's in a later episode. Y'all gonna know because it's gonna be titled something about a roommate or whatever. So maybe you just get into that because that's a whole crazy another story. So with me now experiencing the clubs, um, no confidence again, self-esteem is shot. Somebody come tell me I'm attractive. I don't feel like I'm attractive, but I take it as a compliment. And I thought I had to have sex with people just because they told me I was cute. And it really wasn't even me. I wasn't even looking at most of them as if I liked them. Was I attracted to them? It was just the fact that I was getting overwhelmed and bombarded by compliments by men, black men mostly, that I thought I had to sleep with them. I didn't think I had to say no, I'm not interested. Like I didn't know how that worked. And I remember this time, this guy took me out to eat, and I felt like because he took me out to eat, that I had to have sex with him. And the whole time we was having sex, I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like I'm not enjoying this. And it's just like, why are you not enjoying this? Because you don't want to do it, and why are you doing this? And it's because you didn't know how to say no. You didn't know how to say no. Hey, or simply, hey, thank you for taking me out to eat. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go home. Oh, what can I get? No, you can't. I'm sorry. I'm not. I didn't know how to say no. Again, I didn't have any role models. And me and Francis, he was out doing his thing. He was, boom, boom, pop, pop. I say his business because this is about me. This is about me telling nobody else's business. But he was doing his thing, and so was I. So we were both doing it. And again, I thought that's what being gay was. Like, just going out having a good time. I don't have to worry about getting anybody pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a man and they're a man. I'll never forget I went to a party and there was this guy, he used to throw these parties all the time. And we used to go all the time because back then, like Atlanta used to have some good ass house parties. It was just like, and it just like the houses was big and some of the men down again, it was that was the first place that I went to that I experienced black excellence. It was just like it wasn't even just the straight blacks that had money. It was the gays. They was driving around with convertibles, drop top convertibles, Range Rovers, Mercedes, BMWs, Jaguars. Like they was just, coming in with all these designer bags and these clothes, and then they had these nice ass houses. And I remember going to the house party and linking up with guys. I was baby a lot of times when I went out, baby, I went home. I left with a man. Okay. I left with an M-A motherfucking N, a man. And that man took me home and pleased me and rubbed all over my body and did all the things that I wanted him to do. And sometimes didn't because again, I was telling you guys that when you think that that's what you're supposed to do or it's the hip thing to do is to have sex. What do? You have fucking sex and you do the things. So one day I went to another house party and I was like, hey, I had sex with that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy. I'm- They were all friends. Now I done had sex with a group of motherfucking men. Didn't even know they was all friends. Or did I not even pay attention? What was I doing at the house parties that I didn't know that they was hanging around talking to each other? And I'm like, dang, are they talking about me, saying that they all got a piece of me? And that's when I was like, okay, you gotta slow down. You gotta slow down because you out here and you're doing these things with these men, and it's just too many, and just like you the fresh piece of meat, you the token piece. They know that they can see it, they can smell it, and then you tall, they want a piece. You got a nice personality. You still give off kind of shy and timid. You haven't been tainted by the world as of yet. And the world, I'm also including the gay world because again, that's the world inside of a world. So it's just like I haven't got that sassiness or whatever the case may be that some of us develop after being on the scene and out in the streets and mingling with all the people that you develop, because you have to at some point you have to develop a backbone. Like you have to be able to stand up for yourself. You have to be able to say no. You have to be able to use discernment. Wow. This is one of my coworkers. Her name Glenda. I think she watched whatever. But I never forget that she told me that a long time ago. We was working. She was just like, "You gotta use discernment," and I'm just like, "Huh?" I had to go home and look it up, but I got it. And I wasn't doing that, and I had to start, and it was just too much. So I kind of like slowed down with that. Um, mm, I remember one time I was at one of the guys' house, and I just woke up in the bed. I'm just like, what am I doing here? I was like, I don't even like him. I don't even like him. And the gag is, y'all, I wasn't even 21 at the time. Or I would just turn to 21 and I had the fake ID. But these men was like a lot of them went around they was like in their mid 30s, mid to late 30s. Some of them, and I was just, I mean, shit. If I knew what I knew now, bitch, they would have been giving me some motherfucking money, okay? Because bitch, I don't know. If y'all gonna be getting a taste of this tall tussie cat, honey, you gonna have to break me off a little something, okay? You got to take care of me. You got to pay some of these bills. You got to do something because, baby, I'm not about to be giving it up like that. Okay, so we gonna go back to the youth pride, child. So I'm back. I'm still going to the youth pride and stuff, whatever. Because okay, I just kind of went off a little bit because I wanted to talk about that. But we back again. I'm out doing the clubs and stuff like that. But I'm still at the youth pride. So I meet this guy, dark skin, beautiful white teeth, braids, straight going straight backs, whatever. And me and him started to hang out. Now this is another thing about me. I've always had a car. Always. It's been very rare that I went without a car. There was a brief time in Atlanta. I'll touch base on when I didn't have a car when I was living with my roommate that moved out on me. And then when I moved to New York. Those are the only times in my life that I never had a car. So with that being said, like I was always the driver. And it always seemed like everybody, a lot of people around me, they didn't have a vehicle. So I was always the driver. Now I didn't mind driving, but at the same time, it's just like, dang. So again, I'm hanging out with this guy. We chilling and stuff. I'm really feeling him. Again, I'm young. Like this is my first time. Like I've never, I never really been with a black guy because I mean I'm from Ohio. The guy I was talking to, he was Hispanic. It was a couple white guys. It was just one black guy, but I really wasn't attracted to him. And my friend told me he had a monster piece, like a big old dick. But that was before I was even back there yet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know about that. I was, I didn't know about the positions that we have in the gay community. I didn't know if you were top or if you were bottom or if you verse, if you were side. Do I need to explain that to y'all before we get into this? I might as well. A top would be just like a male and a female relationship. A man would be a top and the female will be a bottom. Any, outie, you get it? Outie, any, top, bottom. So I was only experiencing life as a top. But it was this time, child, that I got an old nasty piece of dick, honey. My first time getting an old piece of big old dick, honey. Once I got that, baby, I said, baby, I'm not being on top no more, honey. Let me just throw these legs to the moon, honey, and bop, 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 bop. And he's like, come on, go, you go give me something, you go give me something. I was like, okay, you give me something, I'll give you something. Then after you give me something, I'm like, I can't do it. And just the time frame around this happened, this is when Jill Scott's first album came out. And we used to listen to that song all the time. It was not Long Walk. It was Lizel, Ezel, and E flat, whatever that song was. That was the song that we would listen to, and it would be playing outside. Oh my goodness. But anyway, we go verse back. Okay, so I said that. So we got top bottom verse, meaning you do both. Whatever. Then if you really want to get technical, you got a verse top, you got a verse bottom. A verse top means I'm mostly the outie, but sometimes you can stick it up there every once in a while. It'll be the same thing for a verse bottom. I'm mostly bottom, but then sometimes I'll be and stick it in. I don't know why I did that. Like it was macho, because sexual positions have nothing to do with how you present yourself in the world, whether you present yourself as feminine, masculine. If you're trans, that has nothing to do with your position in the bedroom. Sex should be freeing, it should be uplifting, it should be liberating. If you can't get in the bed with your significant other and let your freak down, and you're still guarded and you're still reserved, then baby, you need to get it together, honey, because that is the time when you are supposed to let it loose. You're supposed to let your freak on. You're supposed to try new things. You're supposed to scream. You're supposed to shout. You're supposed to do all the things that you want to do or you want to try to do. You should do it, because that is your stress relief. That is you're literally naked in a room with another human being, and you guys are experiencing each other. You are connected. The flesh is one. You are experiencing each other. So that's the time when you're supposed to let loose. Okay, I'm going too far because this is not no sex ed in the gay for gays and for the straights to learn. And then you got the side, which means like neither one of y'all like actually do any type of penetration. It's just, y'all touch on each other, do a little, all that stuff like that, y'all. That's kind of what. But to each their own, honey, because baby, I ain't know. So and the reason why I'm telling y'all this, because the guy at the Youth Pride, this was my first time being with the black guy, and I'm thinking, okay, all black dudes go have monster dicks, all this stuff, whatever. And baby, it was giving. It was so small I could put that bitch in my fucking ear if I needed to. I could have put some hydrogen peroxide on the tip. Good thing it wasn't uncut. But I could put some hydrogen peroxide on the tip and stick it in my ear and get the earwax out of my ear. And it's so funny that I say that because, oh my goodness. So one day we went to his place. He had a roommate or whatever. Hold on, I need to get a sip before I do that shit out. Now I'm trying a new drink today because this was what was left over. A little Hennessy. Ooh. I don't know how y'all drink that. And put a little watermelon in there. So went to his house and we was messing around, but I don't know what was going on with my cell phone, but I didn't put it. It wasn't locked, and I actually butt dialed my grandma's house, and my cousin picked up the phone. And I didn't know that the phone was on. Then I looked at the phone, and it was on, and it was going. It was like on for a couple minutes. So I'm like, girl, she is being nosy. Girl, you could have. Nah, girl, if you watch it, girl, you could have hung up that motherfucking phone. You could have hung up the phone, but you kept the phone on and you was being nosy and you was listening to what was going on. Now the phone was in my pocket, so you probably couldn't hear because there was a lot of rumbling and crumbling and crackling around from us tonguing and all that on the floor. And he had the nerves to try to be funny with me. And he got up and bent down and stuck that little bitty thing and was trying to and put it, it's tickling my ear. And I was like, what? Now, mind you, I still haven't at that time. I still really haven't experienced that many dicks, so I really wasn't, as knowledgeable now on the sizes and stuff. So I'm just like this little bitty ass dick, and he is over the place. He's tickling my motherfucking ear like it's like I'm like a little kid, and you tickling their stomach. I'm like, what is he doing? But I don't know what it was. Maybe because again, I was yearning for a connection and I had wanted a boyfriend that I started to fall for him. Didn't fall in love with him. Let's get that perfectly clear. I did not fall in love with this man. But it was just to have somebody. And he was nice and everything. And I mean, we was hanging out for it was a couple weeks, whatever. Everybody at the Youth Pride organization like knew we was chilling. My best friend Francis at the time, he knew everything. And then one day we get to Youth Pride and we sitting in a circle and I'm today I don't know what it is. It must have the universe or whatever must have knew. Ooh, excuse me, such a fucking lady. I can't remember where I got that saying from of such a fucking lady, but child. I didn't want to do orchestrate the class this time. I just wanted to be in the back. But everybody was like, come on, we want to hear your stories. It was probably like my coming out stories, whatever. But that's just crazy how the universe works because even now people enjoy hearing my stories, not even just on this platform, but just in general, because I always got a story, or I can turn something so simple into a story. It's not that I exaggerate it, is that I can be extremely descriptive. So anyway, we sitting in a circle, we chilling, whatever. And the teacher was like, the guy would organize whatever. Was like, can you go ahead and talk, whatever. And just as I was about to go ahead and start talking, I'm like, child, I gotta talk. I'm tired of talking about me getting kicked out and my parents kicking me out and me playing with Barbie dolls and me doing this and that. And that. Like, I'm tired of that. And the door opened and the guy with the baby dick was coming in, but he came in with a whole nother man, child. He came in with this pencil fucking thin, skinny, white twink with tattoos and piercings. And I looked. And he gonna look at me and smile and wave. Now my little twink don't know what's going on. But I'm just like, bitch, I know this motherfucker did. I know he didn't. But I'm gonna tell you this. I have learned from an early point in my life, and even with that situation, that don't ever, I mean ever, chase nothing that don't want you. When somebody show you who they are, oh come on. When somebody show you what they want, you believe it. You like, oh, okay. Because baby, I'm totally opposite from this person. And I was like, I can't even get mad because I can't compete with that because I'm not goth. I don't have all these fucking tattoos and all these piercings and shit all on me. And I'm not a white twink. So I can't compete with that. So in my head, I was like, oh, this is what he wants. But I'm just like, Joe, we was literally kicking it and hanging it. And then just like, you was using me for my car. Like I was driving you all over Atlanta, taking you places, doing stuff with you, picking you up from work, dropping you off at the house, dropping you off after you prior. We in the car, tonguing and pulling over in parking lots, kissing and doing all that. And this is how you go do this in front of my face? And I'm just like, Gays ain't no different than the straights with the bullshit. Cause why would you do that? But then again, I was like, you know what? You keep that little ass dick because I hadn't experienced that many dicks, but bitch, I knew that shit was fucking small. And the fact that you can fucking tweedle that shit in my motherfucking ear, let me know that baby, you won't even get past these. And baby, I ain't even got no big old ass. I got a little cupcake, honey. You won't even go get past the radius, the diameter of the cakes, let alone do any type of penetration. So I barely was able to do the little session that we had. And afterwards, I didn't even really like get into him. I just kind of stopped talking to him. Like he hit me up a couple times, and bitch, I guess that's one thing I have always stuck with, and that's the blocking and ignoring people when they call. But maybe that is a cancer thing. Like we just when we get over something, baby, we can walk by you and act like you're not there. We'll literally walk by you like a horse with blinders on, and you won't be there. Like we're not gonna fucking see you. And I was just like, okay, you know what? This is how he is. This is what he like. I mean, again, it hurt me, but I wasn't going to let him know that he hurt me by doing that. I was still out in the streets. I was going to the clubs. So me and Francis, we did our thing. We out bopping around. Now, years later, now this happened around like 2002/2003. I'm living in New York. And at my job, he comes into my job and he was like, "Hey, Tim, da da da, what's going on? How you been?" I was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on, man?" Because I knew exactly who it was, but in my head, it was just like little dick. And he was just like, he gained a little weight, child. Of course, they always do. They always gain a little weight, child, when they leave you or when, life gets the best of them or whatever the case they meet for being a raggedy ass bitch. Life gets the best of them. And he was like, "Oh, let's hang out sometime," And I got this number, but bitch, I ain't call him. I didn't even respond to it because I'm like, baby, all these years that went by. Let me tell you one thing about a cancer. We will never forget how you treated us. Now we can smile in your face and we can be cordial, but we're always gonna remember how we were treated because we are sensitive beings and not sensitive meaning being soft. We can just feel things and that's a defense mechanism that we have. And I was like, I'm not dealing with you, child. Like you tried it. Like you really tried it. And then you think that I'm about to go out, eat and hang out with you. And that's how I be like when you get older and they see you, you become be more mature. I'm living in myself, I'm living in my truth. I believe and I know that I'm an attractive man, and I'm carrying myself in a professional, nice way. I'm dressed nice, I smell good, I look fucking good. And then you want to motherfucker think you can circle the block? No, go ask that for some money. Go get that twink with those piercings and those tattoos. And maybe that was a phase for him or whatever. But bitch, that, and I'm not really touching on how I want to, but that really fucked me up. So we're gonna get into the closing. So we're gonna get a little serious. You don't never know who's watching you. Wherever you are going in life, whatever you are doing, there's somebody always watching you. And there's always going to be somebody that's watching you that doesn't like you. Because we don't live in a perfect world. I don't care how good you are. There's somebody that does not like you. There's somebody that despises you. There's somebody that hates you. There's somebody whose sole mission in life may be to make your life a living fucking hell. And it's sad to say, but that's how it is. So now I'm doing like I got here. So I live with my auntie, and she had this mechanic. His name is Cowboy. He would come to the house, fix the car, but he had a crush on my auntie. Like my auntie was out of divorce. She was single. My auntie is beautiful. She would go places, men would try to flirt with her that I would see for the most part, and yeah, she was on the market. So this mechanic would come by in his raggedy car, and we in the South, but he dressed like a cowboy, bitch. It was it would be 95 degrees out there. The humidity would be sky high, and he would be out there with some jeans on or some leather pants and a button down with a cowboy hat. And he always looked greasy, oily, and dirty every time you see him. He never looked clean or never put together. And he used to always try to flirt with my auntie. And I would always look at him on the side because I was like, bitch, I know you want my auntie. I know you want my auntie. And you come out here doing her car and you trying to be all nice and sweet to her. But I know you want my auntie. I know you fucking want her. So I wasn't really fond of him. I didn't know why, but then I knew why because he was trying to get a piece of my auntie, but he was dirty. He's been working on cars all day. It's just like you just jumped up one day, worked on car, next day worked on another car. You was oily, you was dusty, you was sludgy, you was fucking musty, you stunk, you was nasty. You look like a fucking burnt raggedy ass fucking cricket. You looked at disgusting. You looked at ugly. And I hate to say somebody looks ugly because I feel like nobody on this earth is ugly. There's somebody out there for everyone with you ugly. And I'm saying all this stuff. Now, that's how you read somebody. Like I'm saying, like how I learned that around the gays. That's how you read somebody. I just read him. I just ate him up with the truth. Because when you read somebody, you don't make up things. You read them with the truth. Full head to toe skin, and you anything that's a defect or I was gonna say fucking defibrillator. Anything that don't look right, you got to eat them up. So I'm outside doing the yard work because again, my chores was to do the yard work like once a week, cut the front, cut the back. It's hot as fuck outside. I'm over by the trash can, emptying the grass in the trash can, and he comes up to me and he says, "I saw you downtown walking around with those gays. I saw you." Now, I can't remember verbatim what he said. And what I said to him, but in that moment, I do know that I went off and I cussed him out. I cussed him out and I let him know I didn't give a F. I've been cussing this whole time now, but I didn't give a fuck where you saw me, what you think. I don't know who you think you is, like checking up on me and stuff like that. What's your problem? Who you think you talking to? Like I went off on him. And I think he got scared, but at first he wasn't scared because he tried to make it seem like, oh, I know what you doing, and I'm gonna tell your auntie that you a punk. That's pretty much basically like how it was coming off. And ever since then, I really didn't like him. And while I said I already didn't like him from the beginning, he kind of stayed away from me. But then he tried to be a little nice afterwards. But then I would just like, Now I never told my auntie this because again, it's like, again, my auntie know I'm gay. My parents know I'm gay. There are select family members that know I'm gay. But I would still maneuver around them as if I was straight, as if I wasn't gay. And what is that? What is maneuvering around is gay and not straight? What is maneuvering around as straight and not gay? Is basically just not being comfortable with myself. And what is being comfortable with yourself as a gay person, living in your truth, who you are? It's not that the world has to reflect and know that I'm gay, but it's also how I carry myself. It's like if I'm talking about certain things, I'm using different words, or I'm not expressing myself, and I'm not excited the way I would be. Because if I was, and if I act excited the way I want to around anybody, it's gonna be like, child, okay, I know that's right. What? Okay. Period. That's me. But it was different. I wasn't being myself. So it's just like I can't even tell her what this man said because I mean he wasn't lying, but at the same time I was not comfortable with it. And I don't know, did I tell my auntie? I can't remember if I did tell her. And maybe I did. I don't know because he stopped coming around. I can't remember. Because a lot of things, some of those things, like I blocked out because they weren't that serious for me. And then also, again, you guys, you have to understand, I still had a lot going on. The therapy has stopped. At that point, I'm still really not talking to my parents, but they're coming around to the point where I can kind of talk to them on the phone, whatever. But it's like brief stuff, whatever. It's not like we kumbaya and we completely cool. It's just like they've learned that, oh shit, well, he didn't made up his mind, and it's like, maybe reality is setting in, or maybe the world is zooming in on them and saying, "Oh, so you gonna stop talking to your son because again, you're gonna just cut this young man out, 19 years old, who never been out on his own, in the middle of college, don't know what he wants to do in life. This is the time in my life that I needed the most guidance. I needed the most mentoring. I needed the most love. Because I was out there in those streets. I was out there in those streets. I was experiencing things. And at the time, I did not have someone that I could personally confide in to let all this go. So when a man came up to me and told me I was attractive, and whether they bought me a drink or rubbed on me a little bit, I felt like I had to do what they wanted me to do. And what do they want to do with you? They want to have sex with you. They want to use you. And that's what I did. And that's how I ended up realizing I didn't have sex with a whole group of friends at a fucking house party. And y'all, with that being said, that's how we're going to end out this episode. You guys just don't understand. The world is a fucked up place. You can, oh, why would you think that? You should be positive. No, bitch, I'm being fucking real. The world is a fucked up place. There are a lot of people out here who have experienced so much turmoil, stress, whatever you want to call it. And then there's people out there that are actually okay with doing that to people. There are people out here that are hurt. Of course, there are people out here who have a perfect life. Whoop-de-doo, you got a perfect fucking life. Everything's happening good for you. You got a man and you're married, you got money, and you're not stressing over life. And you're happy. And then some of y'all don't even be that happy child. But the world is a fucked up place. And regardless how mad you may be or upset with your kids, they need that. They need that guidance. And whether you feel like they haven't received it and they're not following your footsteps or your directions, your guidance, best believe it's still up there. Because sometimes I'm saying myself as if I'm young, and just in life, sometimes we have to experience things on our own. But it's also good to experience things it's also good for us to experience things on our own. But we got that. But once we do something fucked up, we got that voice in our head from somebody that says, don't do X, Y, and Z. And even though you've done it, it's just like, okay. And then when you keep making another mistake, because I mean, you're going to make more than one mistake in life. I mean, come on now, you're going to fucking do it. And you keep making these mistakes in life, And if you have this voice from this person, especially if it's the same person, and this voice is in your head, or you just recall a conversation that you've had with this person, and they told you not to do something, and something that you've done, at some point you're going to be like, you know what? I need to start listening to this person. That's how you grow. You grow from mistakes, and you have good people around you that can uplift you and can. And that's one thing I can say about a lot of people that are around me. Every once in a while, a bad one may slip through the cracks, and I kick those bitches to the curb. But I do feel like I have a really good support system from select family members into my friends. And again, we need that. We need that to help us grow and to be a better person. And again, it's like I'm seeing this, and it's just so crazy because, like I said at the beginning of this video, when I was on that baby seat, that little booster seat, and with the little wings, and I was flying through the city, and I went up to that spire, and what they told me, it's like, yeah, you're gonna experience it. You're gonna be so knowledgeable, and you're gonna be so fucking wise that it's not gonna make any fucking sense. But anyway, with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for tuning into episode number 3. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all got a good laugh, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna catch y'all on episode number 4. Yeah. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to my channel. Okay, at the end of the thing. Now I'm gonna have to start. I'm not doing that, baby. The code for episode number 3 is French 75. You ain't even not French 75, not a drink. You gotta put 75 in the comments. That let me know you watched the whole video. So I don't care if you're not somebody that come on here, and you're not somebody that like to leave comments. But I need to know, that you watched my video from start to finish. So you need to put 75 for episode number 3. So you can put okay. But if you put okay, I know you just going by the last one. You just say, okay, I'm gonna watch a little bit of his episode and put okay in the No, you go put 75. The number 7 in the 5. Now you ain't gotta spell the whole thing out. I'm gonna be that serious. But it need to be a 7 in the 5. And if you wanted, since you already put 75, you might as well go ahead and say something. So you can go ahead and say something else. You can put okay after that, but you gonna put 75. With that being said, y'all, I'm out of here.